forgot to hit go live. I forgot to hit go live. Oh no. Oh no. That's okay. That's okay. This is where all the cool kids hang out anyway. All right, YouTube, I'm so sorry. We are live on YouTube now. We're live on YouTube now. For anyone just catching up, I apologize. I'll fix that in post. I'll fix it in post. I'll get that uploaded. We are making a crazy marble game. What did you miss? What did you miss? Well, not a ton. Not a ton. We did a little bit of design here. Did a little bit of design. Let's see, can my camera focus here? We're gonna make a crazy marble game in which the player controls a marble. Ooh, guess who? There's gonna be no multiplayer. Are you insane? We're not gonna do multiplayer. The movement's gonna be WASD/on axis. So we're gonna see if we can make it so that it works with an analog stick as well. And so that's gonna control the marble rolling in a direction. We're gonna apply some torque to it to get it to roll in that direction. We're gonna do some maths to figure that out. All right. We're gonna have three levels. Every level, the player's gonna start in a position, so they have a start spot, and they have to roll to the end. If they fall off, it sort of respawns them back at the very, very beginning. We might change that later. We might have some checkpoints, but that's outside of the scope of what we're doing initially. Then we level 2, we want to explore how the ball rolls off and bounces on things. So we're gonna have a rubbery material and then a not so rubbery material. So a bouncy material. All right. And then level 3, we're gonna see if we can figure out how to do ramps. So we want to have platforms, and I want to be able to say I want to connect these two edges of a platform, and it'll just sort of connect them together. And we want to have the player roll through that. So we have 3 level designs for this project. And so the first thing we got to do, number 1, we got to get the player controls working. We're going to add a marble, and we're going to see if we can get a marble to roll around. All right, so I apologize that we missed, you know, we were just on our loading screen over on YouTube. My bad. Mr. Natural, thank you so much for letting us know. All right, Muniz says, it's in the Unity 3D game development super bundle. Good to know. Good to know. Come on, camera. Come on, camera. Get me back in frame. There we go. Yeah, we're just gonna apply torque. You're correct, Smab. Trackball was the best, but you know, maybe we can get trackball working. That would be cool. That would be cool. I do have a trackball that we can hook up. We'll see if we can get that to work, because that'd be kind of awesome. I have no idea how like trackball input is recorded. All right, crazy marble. We got to create a new texture. All right, this is gonna be our marble texture. Create material marble. I'm gonna call it crazy marble, because calling it marble sounds like it's referring to like the stone, the rock marble, and I don't want anyone to get confused with that. Although that could be a very different game, Crazy Marble, in which you're like a sculptor. Ooh, that could be a cool game. Did anyone play Crazy Marble? All right, so we'll add that here. We just want the texture now. Ooh, look how cool that marble is. It almost looks like it has a mustache. Man, I want to make a marble with a mustache like that, give it some googly eyes. All right, so we got our marble. We got to add a rigid body to our marble, right? So we're gonna create a parent object here. Create empty parent. It's gonna be our player. All right, we're gonna add a rigid body to that. Give it some. I think that's all we need to give it gravity. Make it. Yes. All right. Now we have a marble there. Muniz, it could be a superhero, Mega Mustache Marble Man. Yeah. We need one more M so we can call it, you know, 5M. Mega Mustache Marble Man. Madness. Mega Mustache Marble Man Madness. Yeah. 5M. 5M. And then, you know, the sequel will be Super Mega Mustache Marble Man Brothers. Excellent. We're just full of good ideas today. Don't people agree? All right, so now I'm going to create a controller. Create folder scripts. And I know, you know me, I'm definitely going to want tests. So we're going to go ahead and just start out by creating an assembly. We're just start out by creating an assembly called Crazy Marble. Like that. All right, because we know, we're going to want that anyway. All right, so this is going to, we'll create a new folder here called controller. And we'll create an actual script. This is going to be our marble. Hang on, I want to be careful. So maybe this will just be called a marble controller, like that. I do have to import our our input of action. Moonness says, yesterday Ekriz helped me a lot with brainstorming of what to add to my Metroidvania. It was such a cool game. It will be such a cool game, and scope creep is real. Yeah, man. You could call it Scope Creep Vania. Scope Creep Vania. I have an idea. I've always wanted to make a game where in the game a big aspect of the game was like actually like coding the environment. Coding the actual environment in the game. So you're like a character who can like, it's sort of like in the Matrix, and you can, click on the world and observe it and actually modify the code of the objects in the world. But it would be called Scope Creep Vania because you're constantly just adding new features to the game as the player. Mr. Natch says, Mighty Mega Mustache Marble Man Mysteries and Mazes. That's too many M's. That's not 5 M's. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 M's. No. 5 M's. 5 M's max. Anything over 5, too much. Yes, 7 is also a prime number. 7 is also a prime number, but 5's the magic number. But I appreciate the effort. And I like the idea of mysteries and mazes. Maybe just Mustache Marble Man's Mysterious Mazes. How about that? What do people think of that? And we can make it one of those games that's like the tilty games where the marble's rolling around inside of the glass. It's like the maze. All right. Okay, hang on. We're getting package manager. We got to get our input. Let's search for input. Got to install the input system. Installing. Please stand by. We're gonna get our input system in. And then we gotta add that to our assembly. Smab, welcome to lurk mode, my friend. Welcome to lurk mode. Enjoy your lurk. We here at Captain Coders Academy know you have many choices when you choose to lurk, and we appreciate you choosing us. The project is new, so you will need to restart. Okay. Got to turn it off and back on again. Here we go. Pending. Well, this is happening. How's everyone doing? How's everyone doing on this beautiful, beautiful Tuesday? Is it beautiful where you are? It's beautiful where I am. I mean, it's dark outside, but that doesn't mean it's not beautiful. I love living in the desert. I'm not gonna lie. I lived on the East Coast for a while. It just made me miss the desert. Okay, there we go. We're also, I know for a fact that we're gonna want our Text Mesh Pro at some point. So I'm gonna go ahead and import the essentials for that while I'm at it, while I'm here. FunUp Gamer says, wow. Thank you, FunUp Gamer. I hope you're saying wow because this game looks amazing. But happy Tuesday, my friend. How are you? You wish Sweden had better weather. Interesting. Sweden doesn't have beautiful weather? Is it just, tell me about the weather, Munez. What makes it not the best of weather? Also, fun fact, you just saying the word better reminded me, I was trying to figure out, it's too cold. That's fair. FunUp, I did reply to you. I hope I did reply to you. Fun Up, I'm sorry if I missed you if you said something earlier. Fun Up, what did you say? What did I miss? Fun Up, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Forgive me. Forgive me. But yeah, how are you, Fun Up? Fun Up says nice. Swedish summer is perfect. Nice. You know what else is perfect? Swedish fish. I don't know if that's true, but I do like me some Swedish fish. Gotcha. Yeah. What I would say is it gets very hot here. We had porta potties melting here last year in the summer. It got too hot, I think. It was in the news that porta potties were melting. Is it too hot if the world melts? Might be too hot. I prefer that to cold, though, I suppose. All right, here we go. We wanted to add in here. This is our Text Mesh Pro. And then we're also going to want to add in our input system. There we go. Funop says, I am from India. Well, welcome aboard, my friend. Welcome to Captain Coders Academy. We're happy to have you here. Just so you know, I am a computer science teacher, computer science programmer. So do not hesitate to ask me questions. I love getting questions. I can't promise I will always answer them immediately or in general, but I'm happy to try. I'm happy to try. And if you have a really particularly big question, feel free to join the Discord. You can ask questions. You don't have to join the Discord, but if you come, join our community. It's quite fun. Mooney says, I've heard about Swedish fish in America, and Swedish people have not heard about it. Well, why, so what you're telling, what I'm hearing, Moon, is the Swedish people have sent us a Trojan horse called Swedish fish that is poisoning us. Is that what I'm hearing? Why would you do that? Why would the Swedish people, it's just called fish here. just fish, sugarfish. Sugarfish. Okay. So we got our crazy marble. All right. We got to create an input controller. All right. So create a new folder, inputs. And we're going to create input actions. And it's going to be marble controls. Okay. Marble controls. Create a new action. Oops. Marble controls. Ooh, I just had an idea. We're going to make our marble be able to jump, I think. New action. FunOp Gamer, we are currently working on, this is a great question, FunOp Gamer. We are making a prototype. I'm wanting to explore 3D physics in Unity. So I'm pretty new to using Unity. But I want to explore how we can make a game 3D physics. So this game is sort of inspired by Monkey Ball and Marble Madness. We're making a game in which the player controls a marble and can, but the marble is, it's not immediate response. You press a button, it causes the marble to start rolling in a direction. So if you're not rolling in a direction already, it's not so bad. But once you start moving, getting that marble to go back would be the opposite thing to do. Be challenging. We could add control schemes to this. It says no control schemes. What is the control scheme? All right, hang on. We gotta look at what a control scheme is. Unity control scheme. All right. Let's see if this is what we want. What is a control scheme in Unity? Control schemes. New control scheme, add one for keyboard and one for gamepad. Differentiate between the button and different types of devices. Ooh, that's nice. Chex Party coming in with the raid with 10 people. Chex Party, thank you so much for coming. Happy Tuesday, my friend. For anyone who doesn't know, Chex Party. Come on, I'm gonna do a shout out here. Chex Party, if you're not following Chex Party, you should be. You should be. See that little heart button? Come back to, am I not following? Look, I wasn't even following Chex Party. Don't break Chex Party's heart. Come on into the, if you're lurking, hop on back here. Get that Twitch stream here. See that little heart button at the top? You got to click that heart button. Give Chex Party some love. But thank you, Chex Party, so much for the raid. So happy to have you here. And happy Tuesday, my friend. Welcome back. Welcome back to the crew. I can't believe I wasn't following you. Zent12, or is it Cent12? I'm not sure. Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. As always, do not hesitate to ask a question. I love being boozled. Just don't try to bamboozle me. Do I say that too much? It's because I'm trying to make it into it. I'm trying to make it my saying. It's my catchphrase. Don't boozle me. Oh, you can boozle me, but don't bamboozle me. I'm gonna make t-shirts. I'm gonna get rich. Get rich off my t-shirts. Yeah. Get rich off my t-shirt. Yeah, that's the ticket. Sell t-shirts. That's the way to do it. All right. Thank you so much for the love, Chex. I appreciate it. I really, really do. All right, so we, just to give you a heads up, what are we doing? We're trying to make a game. I'm trying to learn NVIDIA physics in Unity. All right, so Unity has like several different types of physics. The basic one in 3D that is like by default is the NVIDIA physics. I'm trying to explore that. And to do it, we're gonna make a game about a marble. We're gonna make a game about a marble. Let's take a look at our design document again. All right, our design document again, come on. Focus. There it goes. Captain Boozled, exactly. Captain Boozled. FunOp Gamer asked, what are your PC specs? That's a good question, not great. I don't have the fanciest of PCs. I only got 16 gigs. Yeah, Skulltag, no multiplayer. All right, yes, are you insane? Cole Skulltag? No multiplayer. This is a prototype, we're just trying to learn. It's also not real paper. Ooh, very observant, Chex. Very observant. For Chex, for your observation. Here you go. You get 50 points. Hang on. Add points, Chex Party 50. For such a clever observation, Chex, 50 points to you. Yes, indeed, this is not real paper. This is remarkable paper. All right. So right now, we are working on this portion right now. Crazy Marble is a game in which the player can use WASD controls or analog controls. We're going to do axis controls to get our marble to sort of roll in a direction. Maybe someday I'll have a trackball. Look at me go. Look at me. The trackball works like this. All right, get a trackball to roll yourself around. Yeah, FunOp Gamer, my PC specs aren't great. I have, it has a built-in graphics card. FunOp, have a beautiful day, my friend. Thanks for popping in. As always, keep coding, keep growing, and you're welcome back anytime. But yeah, today I'm really hoping to get at least one level done. The game idea is you have a player who rolls and controls a marble. It's gonna be a start position. The first level is gonna just be here, and you just gotta roll to the end position, make it there. Level 2, we're gonna play around with different types of materials. So you're gonna start at the top, and you gotta roll your way down here. All right, this is gonna be a bouncy material, and this is gonna be a not so bouncy material. So we're gonna play around with how to make materials feel different. All right, and then level 3, we're gonna see if we can add some ramps in. I don't think we're gonna make it to level 3 today. I'm not that good. I've really only been using, we're on day like 30 of using Unity. So I'm pretty new to Unity. I'm doing my best, but that's why we're here. We're here to learn, we're here to grow, and we're here to get better. We're here to and also here to have fun. All right, so that's what we're doing here today. And you're learning with me. Let's learn together. Mooniz is here. Mooniz is a level 5 wizard. Level 5 master of Unity. Here to give me all the knowledge. Yeah, we're here to get good. Chex Price says we're here to get good. Exactly. So here we go. What am I doing? My marble controls. Oh yeah, we're gonna add a control scheme. All right. So I should call this one keyboard. Is that sort of what we're doing here? And keyboard. Okay. Do I add? All right, so keyboard. I can add another control scheme. Betadev says, I'm here to get good as well. Hello. Hey there. What I will say is I do think I'm a reasonably good programmer. I do think I'm a really good programmer and software engineer. Most of my experience has been in sort of industry doing software development, but I've become a computer science teacher. It's what I've always wanted to be, was a computer science teacher for young children. I've always wanted to teach. I always felt like university programming, it was like, you know, not necessarily too late, but can we get it younger? And so I've managed to reach my goal of teaching young students. I'm not quite, you know, so I mostly teach, I work at a school where I teach ages 10 to 14, which I love. I'm not a game, so let me be clear, I am not a game developer. I'm a wannabe game developer, but I do think I'm a reasonably good programmer. I'm not the best programmer, but I think I'm reasonably good. I've been doing it for a couple years, you know, just a few years, 25 years, a little bit more than 25 years, but just a couple years. So I think I'm okay at programming. That said, I'm not always right. We are all wannabe game devs. Yeah. This one's gonna be a gamepad. All right, we'll call this gamepad. Gamepad. All right, gamepad. More specific. Can I just click gamepad? All right. Requirements. What does this optional thing do? We are all wannabe game devs. Yes. All right. Control schemes. Unity input system. All right. We're gonna see here. Struct. I don't know if this is what we're really looking at. Okay, so I can bind it to a specific control scheme. What happened to my window here? Where'd it go? I lost you. Oh no. So now you have an action, the buttons you can bind. You can generate a default set of the player input class if you want to be lazy. Gamepad. So is this, am I doing this sort of the right way? Where I do my scheme like this? All right, so we're gonna start with keyboard. All right, marble controls. So it would be like the actions. Gotcha, you'd select all control schemes, but this would show you. Gotcha. Okay, this makes sense. So we're gonna create a new action. This is gonna be called our roll. Roll input. Should I be called roll action? You know, roll input maybe. That's what I want. It's like applying a force in a specific direction. And we're gonna add a binding. Movement. Ooh, Mooniz, you got good name. Someone said on my Discord, they were saying my biggest raid boss is the naming monster. I'm like, absolutely. I always say naming is the hardest part for me. I'm really bad. Check says, I wish I could stay, but I gotta go sleep. Have a good stream. I forgot to take breaks, so my body hates me. You gotta take breaks, Checks. That's okay. Have a beautiful day, my friend. Have a beautiful sleep. Have a beautiful sleep. Enjoy your sleep. I hope you get a lot of rest. And thank you for popping in. Thank you so much for the raid. As always, you're welcome back anytime. All right, so add a binding. I don't know if that's what I want. I want this to be sort of a positive. Is it a positive negative binding? And I want it to be, can I change the number of axes? Mike says, you've been brainstorming games before you could read. The reason you've learned to read. Yeah, it was the reason I learned to read. All right, we're gonna call this. All right, we gotta look this up, I think. You want to change movement to be value vector 2. Value. Vector 2. Beautiful. Beautiful. Binding up, down, left, right, composite. Oh, is this what I want? Okay, I think this is what I want. Okay, so now I can listen for W. I can listen for S. Oops, I did it. Listen. S. S. A. Nimbus. And listen for D. Okay. And I select that I want it to be used in my... Oh, I can't multi-select. Keyboard. 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 Beautiful. Beautiful. I think this is going to be what we want. Okay. Next. I want to have my player be able to get these. Click save. Save. Dremels, thank you very much for telling me. Thank you for the warning. I almost forgot. Yeah, I don't have my gamepad connected, so I'm gonna wait to do those. I think I gotta wait. All right, hang on. Actually, I'm gonna go grab my Xbox. When I take a break, I'll grab my Xbox. I don't have it here. I don't think it's charged. I don't think it has batteries. But yes. Ooh, autosave, even better. Even better. Autosave scares me sometimes, though. All right, for now, we're gonna do that. And then all right, so let me try this. Create empty, it's gonna be like input. On the input action asset, click generate C# clack and you can hook it up to the script manually. Oh, okay, there's a okay. On the input action asset, click generate this one here. Ooh. Ooh, class name. All right, apply. I probably need to make this be in my scripts here. So, if I were to do this, an input action asset cannot be named the same as itself. If generate, you can rename the action asset, rename the asset itself. I guess I have to specify some things. Okay, marble. Think you are using a space in it controls. It doesn't want it to be named marble controls. Marble input controller. Marble input. There it goes. There it goes. There we go. That was interesting. It probably had to do with that space or something. It also could be that I'm using an assembly. And so it like can't figure that out. My guess is maybe related to the assembly as well, but we're gonna move that over into our controller. We're gonna create a folder called marble. Oh, that's gonna cause issues. Marble. Let's see what these look like. Bloop. Bloop. Take a little looky-loo here. Apparently I have an extra thing open. So I'd assume it's space. It's a huge JSON with inputs. Oh. Oh, God. Does it, but if I change it, it automatically updates? Is that what's going on? Jackie! Oh, I gotta switch to my face cam just for you. Jackie. With the clown. Those muscles. Look at all those muscles filling up my room. Not my muscles, the muscles Jackie's brought into here for us. Thank you, Jackie. Happy Tuesday, my friend. Welcome back. Welcome aboard. Okay. I don't know if I like this. No, it was an homage to your flexing. It was an homage. I wasn't trying to show off. I have no muscles. My muscles are hidden under these layers. Is this really what I want? I don't know how I feel about this. Tremok says, You care about your muscles, so you protect them with extra layers. That's right. All the layers. So let's see. I probably want this for the following reason. Let me see here. If I were to modify, okay, so if I changed this, it would it automatically regenerates that. Is that true? So if I were to say something like D, rather than doing D, if I change this to F, for example, just as an example. Oh, but all right. So I gotta change a little bit here. There's some things I do have to change because it wants to regenerate it there. All right. So that is a nicety. This is probably what I want. Probably what I want for automatic generation purposes. Yeah. So I need to change this though to be in my scripts controller marble controls. All right. And I probably want it in a namespace, which is crazy marble dot input. All right, let's try that. What's interesting, it's calling it something different. Hang on, what did you generate? An action map and an input action. Let's just clear that. Marble controls. I'm fascinated. I'm fascinated why the class name is not Marble Input Controller, but Marble Controls. So that's interesting to me. We're gonna leave it alone. I'm not gonna worry too much about it. Oh, because it has Marble Input Controller here. Interesting. They are different, but it's good practice to have them be the same. It's good practice to have them be the same. So let's go with Marble. Oh, this is because I'm dumb here and I just named the file differently. Hang on. Let's keep getting better. It doesn't like that. So we're actually gonna save this here as Marble Controls. Okay. All right. Marble Input Controls. Or Marble, all right. Bad naming. We're trying. It really doesn't like it if I don't give it a name. And I'm not quite sure. Did it not? Oh, I know why. All right, so hang on. We can make it Marble Controls. I almost got this. Here we go. What? I bet this is more... How frustrating is it to watch me, grope my way through this pain? How painful is this to watch? Clear. Marble controls, apply. Yeah, it won't let me. Because I'm using the same. So Mooney says, I usually leave it in the same folder. I don't see a reason to move the auto-generated file. It's because I'm using an assembly, and so it won't find the script out here. It won't find the script unless it's inside of my scripts folder. I'm using an assembly. Because I want to write tests. Well, I guess I could have an input assembly. That's true. You could add an assembly here. That's not a terrible idea. It's not a terrible idea. All right, let's get rid of this. We'll try again. It's not a terrible idea, Moonus. All right, I do still, when I just had the defaults here. All right, can I switch back to defaults? Inputs, Marble controls. It doesn't want to call it the same thing here, so if I leave that, it still seems to have issues. An action map in an input actions asset cannot be named the same as the asset itself if generate C# class is used. So it's saying that it can't have the same name. Even though that's like the default name. We'll create a assembly here. So inputs. Crazy marble inputs. It is very strange. It does feel very strange. Daniel, my friend, welcome back. Welcome back, Daniel. Happy Tuesday. Did I rename? Might be because you renamed it after creating the C# asset. Maybe. All right. If you unchecked, apply. Oh, let's try this. Okay. Did that, I don't see a, This is fascinating. All right, there we go. Now I get that same error again. That's okay. We're just gonna call it marble input. There we go. We got marble inputs. We're happy. Once call it marble controller. It's so weird. It's so weird. I don't understand either. I don't understand. All right, one more try. We're gonna do one more thing. Daniel, I'm so glad your class just ended. I'm so glad you're here, my friend. How's your day going? How's your Tuesday? I wasn't here yesterday, so I didn't get to ask you how yesterday was, but how have you been? How have you been? How's your hand? How are things? Give me the news. Give me the news. I need to know. I need to know. We're gonna call this marble inputs, just to keep my sanity. There we go. All right, now I gotta add this. So maybe one downside is that over here, I have to say, now I have to add in my marble inputs. All right, apply. And then in my inputs, I'm assuming, well, maybe not. We'll see what happens. Yeah, so now over here, all right, so this is, now I have to say that this needs my input system as well. And we'll apply that. And it'll rebuild. Unity build for me. Daniel says, the hand is okay. Just need my skin to heal. My skin to regenerate. Regenerating skin. Assembly definition, crazy marble inputs will not be compiled because there's no scripts associated with it. That's interesting. All right, well, we're gonna try. This all felt interesting. Okay, so I have this input now, supposedly. Supposedly, not supposedly, supposedly. How do I attach this? Oh. Yeah, so I'm just trying, I don't understand how to use it. It's an input action collection too, it's not disposable. How do I attach it to something? So in my marble controller, how do I get this thing to have it attached? Marble controller, you add a private static, all right, private static marble input player actions. All right. And we'll add this we got a using. So it's not gonna be able to find this thing because it using marble inputs. Okay, it did find it. It did find it. Good to go. Is this sort of like a static class? So I have to say equals new marble inputs. So I can do this though. Okay. All right, so I can get access to, All right, so it's sort of, I can, you know, in this case, I can sort of treat it that way. All right. This is interesting. All right, so how... Public, protected, void, on enable. Player actions dot enable. This probably shouldn't be called player actions, it's probably called marble inputs. On disable. And we're going to change this to be marble inputs. Then you can get input from player actions. And you have started / performed canceled. So it would be... Well, this is like going back to the original input system, right? So now I have to put something in my update method to get the inputs out. So I have to do like marble inputs dot, what was it, left, marble controls dot movement dot. Okay, I can listen to the events. Okay, cool. So this would be something where I would do protected void awake. Daniel, good luck at the dentist, my friend. Have a beautiful day. Can't wait to see you again. Take care. All right, so marble inputs dot marble controls dot movement dot bindings dot movement dot on started. That's not a thing. Started, there we go. Handle movement. All right, so we'll generate this if we can. What is started return? Okay, we'll make this a little bigger so we can see here. All right, so we'll have a private void handle movement. Probably some kind of input thing. Input action dot callback context. Callback. Callback context. Callback context. And okay, so we have a handle movement from this thing. Started is the first frame the input is pressed. Performed is while it's held down. Triggered on the first frame. Canceled is when you let go. Okay, so dot performed. This is really what we care about, is performed. And we basically want to say, okay, context dot read value. So this should be a vector 2. So vector 2 user input. All right, debug.log user input. All right, so let's take a look at what that looks like. Ooh, we're gonna have to add in like a camera thing so that our camera sort of stays behind our marble or somehow near the marble so that our controls make sense. We could also just like lock the camera. I don't think I added this to the game yet. Player marble controller. It is not allowed to call from a mono behavior. Create scriptable object from type. It's not allowed to be called from a mob. No behavior. Yeah, it looks like it doesn't want this to be a static thing. All right, so really what this should be like this. This should, oh, hang on. Let's not get too carried away here. This should be a static marble inputs. Then this should be a private, or no, public, maybe even not public, static marble inputs, get says if s.marble is null, s marble equals new marble inputs, return s marble inputs. And then we use this everywhere instead. I think making it a singleton makes sense. I think it kind of makes sense. Maybe not. Maybe it doesn't make sense. All right. So, oh, I changed it to F because I need to go change that back. All right. Our inputs look good. This should be listen. DQ. I think making it static makes sense. But basically when we go to need it, the game should be running by the time we need it because it's not in an editor script, right? So I think we're good there. So handle movement. Handle movement is, we're just gonna set, we'll have a private vector to input direction like this, and by default it'll be, you know, 0. So vector 2.0. And this is just going to be a thing that sets that. Input direction equals user input. Sorry. This. Just going to sort of forward that in. So we have access to it in our physics update. Okay. User input direction. I'm not sure what to call that, but we'll be okay with that. So now we're going to add in our fixed update. Come on, fixed update. Jeez, the autocomplete is nightmare. Fixed update. This thing's required to have a rigid body. That we can apply our inputs to. Let's add in a public rigid body rigid body. I hate naming things that way because then it gets name conflicts. Rigid body goes to get component. Rigid body like this essentially is what I want to do. Good question. Skull tag. Why have I marked them protected instead of private? If I mark them private, my IDE complains that I'm not using them. That's the reason I marked them protected. I don't want them to be public. I could cache it. Dramulx. in my awake. I could do that. All right, so I could also do this. Private rigid body. And we'll do this. Like that. Oh, it's not getting me 0, 0, 0. I'm gonna have to cancel that. All right, good. Thank you. Do I need to serialize it though? So skull tag. Do I need to access that in my editor? This one makes sense, I think, to do it. Yeah. I think serializing this is nice just because I can see it in the editor. But yeah, I don't want to manually assign it. This thing I know has a rigid body, so we're just gonna go get it. I think so. I'm a big fan of baby proofing things. Good question. But yeah, I don't want to assign it in the editor. I'm my own worst enemy when I'm programming. Anytime in my editor I have room to break something, it's bad. It's bad, I think. So I want to be careful not to be able to break things in my editor. This one seems fine because it's going to be sort of getting updated on its own. So changing this input direction doesn't... It's more than anything, I want this to be like a read-only value that I can see. So I could like turn on debug mode to see it. But we're going to add in another thing. Marble canceled. Stop movement, right? And so stop movement, callback context is just going to be that our input direction equals vector 3.0. All right, let's see how we did. That said, do not hesitate to backseat code for me. I'm learning. I'm wanting to learn. I'm trying to learn. And so don't just, be sure to, I'm okay with backseat coding. I find it beautiful. There aren't they, I bet vector 2 and vector 3.0 are identical. Oh, you're probably right that I should do vector 2 anyway. Hang on. You're correct. I should do vector 2. Because the Z, I shouldn't be affecting the Z with that anyway. Thank you, Muniz. Thank you, Muniz. Muniz saving me from myself. All right. So, yeah, there we go. All right, so we can sort of apply it. Look at it. Look at it go. Look at my input directions. It's beautiful. No worries, Moonheads. Don't apologize. But yeah, we can see it in there. And it should sort of like update itself. Okay, so in our fixed update, we're gonna write in a little helper here. Now let's make 8-way movement. Dramulks, let's increase the scope. Let's increase the scope. The scope's too small. It's too small. We got to keep increasing the scope until madness occurs. All right, we're gonna add in our fixed update here. We're gonna apply whatever thing we're doing. So I kind of want to add in like a max. Dramulks is my name. Scope creep is my game. Let's add more features now. Yeah, so this should be 8-way. It's just we don't have 8, I'm gonna hook up an analog controller here. Probably after my first break, I'll go grab it. We're approaching my first break. I want to get this in here first. So in my fixed update, I'm gonna add in a method that sort of says apply movement. I could just put it in fixed update, I suppose. I'm not sure. Apply directional force. We're gonna apply a directional force. And I'm going to have it take in our input direction. All right. Because we might want to use this later. Something else might apply in a directional force to us. So we're going to write a public method. Public void apply directional force vector to direction. But this Mooniz Dremel says, Mooniz, yeah, for a sphere is easy to set up, but for a 3D character you need to put in more work to get it up and running. So the marble. So indeed, you are correct. Yeah. So I think what we do is we apply torque. Add relative torque. And if I get it right, I just do direction here. Smab says, oddly enough, I'm testing an old game controller to pass it on to someone to play some retro games. Got it working on Windows 11, but the button mappings aren't ideal. Yeah, Dramulx, there's a reason I chose a marble. There's a very, very good reason I chose a marble. And it's because I'm a simpleton. I'm a simpleton. I don't want to, deal with animations and craziness. Smab text. The manufacturer doesn't exist anymore. They were bought by Logitech. Interesting. What type of controller is it? Force mode. Do I want to do at a continuous force? Do I want an impulse or force velocity change? Add an instant velocity change and rigid by ignoring its mass. This is interesting. Add a continuous acceleration to the body, ignoring its mass. Cytec P880, good in its time. Gotcha. Yeah, I remember the old gamepad. Moon is it depends if you want to have more than one marble. There could be not player controlling more than one marble. I think if we do instant velocity change, it sets the velocity to that. I kind of want it to be adding a force or an acceleration. I'm not sure. So it's sort of like if I'm pressing left and I have some speed, I want to apply. I think I want to apply a continuous force. I should go. I think I need to read about those. Let us see. And then I probably want another field. Yeah, I'm gonna exactly, Dramux. That's the whole point of this. Exactly. Dramux said you can play around with the force type, and yes, that's exactly what I want to do. So, but we're gonna do one more thing here. We're gonna make a public. This is gonna be a property. Public. Float. Input. Or direct, I want something that is like the amount of force that is multiplied by here. So this is like our force multiplier. So we want to be able to say, people can see what our force multiplier potentially is. Maybe we'll be able to set it later. We'll start out with 5F. And this is going to be sort of like our direction times our force multiplier in here, or applied directional force. I actually think that maybe it should be here, force multiplier. Yeah, because something else outside might apply a force to us as well. But you can sort of get going in a direction. So force multiplier. I need a better name for this. This is like our, rotation power. There we go. Rotation power. All right, let's see if this does anything. All right, we're taking a looky-loo. We're gonna hit this play button. Hello. Ooh. Let's move the camera so we can. Oh no. Yes, this is gonna be such good. This feels good. This feels good. All right. So, Yeah, we gotta map X to Z instead. Exactly. So it's a little bit off in that regard, but that was fun. Okay, we've been going for an hour and a half. We've been going for an hour and a half. I need to take a break here. We're gonna come back. When I come back, we're gonna do some stretching. So get yourself ready. Get yourself ready for stretching. Any Mortal Kid exactly. I've been trying to think like losing my marbles, yeah, or crazy marble. Can you find them? Something along those lines. Yeah, but we're gonna take a break real quick. Enjoy some sweet. Well, this lo-fi is nice and ambient. Some nice ambient lo-fi. I'm out of water. I'm out of coffee. I need to get a refill. I'm gonna grab a controller. Hopefully the batteries on it aren't dead. I don't play games all that often. I'm gonna grab a controller, see if we can get that added in here. But I'll be back. Hang tight. Find something to grab onto so you don't blow away. And we'll be right back. Oh boy, oh, we got some crazy spamming happening over on. Yikes. Yikes. All right, so let's see. How do I moderate? Show moderation controls. Well, that won't work because Restream is a the Restream bot is a mod. Yeah, so that's just all right. So I think I got to just turn off the Restream bot is probably what's gonna happen here. Oh my goodness, hang on. I don't know how to. All right, hang on. I think I can block this person. Give me a moment. All right, so I think they've been blocked there. But I'm also going to turn off the Restream bot for now. Give me a second. Okay, we're going to turn that off. All right. I apologize, everyone. Ooh, that's a good idea. Perfect. Thank you, Munez, for that. Jeez. All right, so we're just gonna have to keep an eye on the Twitch stream there as well. Jeez. All right, we're back. We're back. Yikes. Yikes. Now I'm famous. Yeah. All right. We've got an Xbox controller with us, so we're going to see if we can hook that up here in a minute. We're going to see what before we do that, we want to change. We need to map our X directions. There's a translation we got to do here. This is actually going to take a directional force vector 3. And when we go to apply the directional force, we're actually going to translate this to a vector 3. And it's going to be 0. Hang on. X should be our Y. Is that right? 0 and then input direction dot Z. I think that's what it is. Oh, no. Dot input X. Yeah, input direction dot X. There we go. You know, the moon is. I am famous now. I am famous. You think it's X and Z? I suppose it depends on how our camera is going to be positioned, right? Hang on. This should be X and Y. Oh, okay. So I was doing it the way. Okay, that's what I thought. My brain made me think it was going to be that way. One thing that I'm not 100% sure about. All right, so it's reversed. So this is potentially reversed. It depends on what reversed means in this context. But yeah, so the camera needs to be moved. There's a lot of things that need to be done here. All right, when I roll towards and away, the issue that I'm having as far as controls go as well is the translation. So if I roll towards the camera, right, my X, it works fine until I start adding both in. So now I'm gonna try and go to the right here. Relative torque, there you go. That's exactly right. This should be add torque instead, rather than relative torque. So like the input should always be the same rather than relative. Right? Yeah. Okay, that actually feels pretty good. That feels pretty good. Okay. Let us now we want the camera to be locked. It's gonna be semi-isometric. So the camera's gonna be locked. Where does the camera go? The camera wants to be on the other side. So we switch to 10. And... Or we could keep it. We could keep it there and actually just change direction. But like 10, and then rotation. We want to flip it. Would it be 180? Not that way. I could change the input direction, right? But I can also... Is this the rotation I want? Not that way. Y. 180. If I do this, it should also work. Yeah. Oh, well, I'm gonna have to change the input direction anyway, because now my away direction is wrong. So when I press... So one of them's gonna have to be flipped no matter what I do. One of them has to be flipped no matter what I do. So I'm gonna switch back to this one. And I'm just gonna say that we're gonna flip... We're gonna flip the... It's gonna be multiplied by -1. Let's see if that feels right. Hang on, is that not what I wanted? Times -1. Just do in front. I'm not sure what you mean by in front. Oh, you're right, you're right. Negative. There we go. But what if I want to be crazy? Okay. All right. So that feels really good, actually. We do probably need to add in, like, you can only get going so... This is... All right, this already feels fun. This already feels fun. All right, let's move our camera. All right, so we're going to move our camera. We're going to add some, like, lerping in or something to it at some point. We're going to raise our camera up and point it down. 15. Maybe even more. Ooh, 30 feels good. Beta Dev, thank you so much for the follow. Much appreciated. Happy to have you here. Welcome aboard. I hope you're enjoying it. Since you've followed, I think you're probably enjoying it, which is great. So I'm so happy that you're here. If you have any questions, remember, I enjoy the questions. I'm here to teach. I'm here to learn as well. But do not hesitate to ask if you have any questions. I love trying to answer questions. Okay. There we go. So we got a thing, we can sort of roll around there. And we can fall off. I'm so glad you're enjoying it. I'm so glad you're enjoying it. I'm enjoying it too. I think out of everyone here, I'm probably enjoying this the most. But the audience here makes it even that much more enjoyable for me. Code Red, thank you so much for hopping in. For those of you who don't know, for those of you who do not know, Code Rad is making an awesome roguelike game. So we gotta give a shout out to Code Rad here. If you are not currently following Code Rad, why am I so bad at this? If you're not following Code Rad, real quick, come back. If you're lurking, I beg you, I implore you, return to the chat. Return to the chat. See this little heart button? You gotta click it. You gotta go check out Rogue Blight. Rogue Blight. Let's get a link to that real quick. Rogue Blight on Steam. Rogue Blight. This game's awesome. I know you haven't updated this. Do you have your new Gorilla? But real quick, go to Steam. Go to Steam. Emil Thomas over on YouTube. Happy Tuesday, my friend. Welcome aboard. Let's see if we can turn that restream bot back on to get that cross chat going. But Emil, how are you? Welcome aboard, my friend. Welcome aboard. Happy to have you here. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. But we're gonna see if we can get that we had a little bit of a spam bot going on. But yeah, Real quick, go to this Steam page. Go to this Steam page. Scroll down, click add to your wish list, because you want to know. You want to know when this is coming. But man, Code Red, this game is looking awesome. I usually watch Code Red during my lunch. But awesome stuff. Go check them out. Go check them out. If you like platformers, if you like rogue games, if you like games that kick your butt, if you like the Souls-like game, go check it out. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. All right. We were in the middle of making a marble game. Emil Thomas, happy Tuesday, my friend. We are in the process of making a crazy marble physics game. We're trying to learn about physics here. All right, so here's what we have so far. Code Red, I think you just showed up. Here's what we have so far. We're making a physics-based game. So we've got this marble on here that we can roll around. And it basically, you can apply physics forces to it. All right, so when you press the controls, it rolls around. We're going to add in, and it doesn't respond immediately, right? So like it's a little bit wishy-washy controls, and that's part of the fun. That's part of the fun. That's what makes physics games fun, is that you're like, oh no, I gotta think ahead. All right, we can roll off here. Whee, goodbye. All right, we got our Xbox controller. We're gonna see if we can connect this and use it here. So bear with me just for a moment. I don't know if I have the USB necessary to connect it. I might have to do Bluetooth. Let's see if I can connect via Bluetooth. See if I can remember how to do this. Or is it already connected? I bet I just turned on my Xbox in the other room. Oh, actually, it looks like my batteries are dead. Looks like my batteries are dead, is what I thought. But if I have... Hang on, I know I have a bunch of these. Bear with me. Hang tight. I'm not getting coffee, but I promise I'll be right back. I promise. We're just putting this up for a moment. I gotta go find a thing. I have a giant USB cable. I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. I didn't get my giant one, but I have my 3-foot one, or maybe 3 feet. This one's, oh no, this looks like 6 feet. 6 feet. I have one that's 12 feet as well. All right, we're gonna plug this in. We're gonna see if my computer can handle it. Come on, baby. There we go. All right, we're gonna see if this is my first attempt. Oh, I filled it. Joystick connected. That was easy. That was easy. All right, let's see if we can add in here marble controls. Marble controls. All right, so we were gonna add in here. All right. If I were to switch to gamepad, it won't show up here. So I'm gonna add in another binding. Okay. And hang on. What did I do before? Composite. Okay, that's what I'm doing. Add in composite. There we go. I was blind here for a second. All right, it's gonna be a vector 2. My binding here. All right, listen. It's not detecting my axes. All right, should it just be pressing some buttons? Should it just be listening for those? Should be gamepad. Maybe I have to click gamepad for it to listen. No, gamepad. Maybe I have to explicitly tell it that this is an Xbox controller. Hang on, gamepad. I didn't specifically make my edit control scheme. I didn't tell it that this was explicitly an Xbox controller. All right, so let's try that. It does detect it. All right, we're gonna try it. Listen. It's not listening. All right. Well, let's try the following. Left stick. Up and down. All right. Left stick up. All right. We're going to try it. We're going to see what happens. Left stick up. And this would be left stick down. This isn't like clicking down. This is actually like moving down. Let's save. Turn it off. Dramulk says, 2 hours left to work, then I can work on my game again. Dramulk says an awesome game. Dramulk, do you stream by any chance? If you stream, I'd love to give you a shout out. Not yet. Sadly, no. Not yet, but you'll start it up. I was just curious, because your game looks super cool. Your game looks super, super cool. All right, let's see if this gets some inputs here. Muniz, thank you so much for your help. I appreciate it. We're going to give Muniz some points here. Add points. Muniz, for all your assistance, 50 points. 50 points. Much, much appreciate. Very much appreciate. All right, we're going to see if this gets detected when I run. I'm surprised that it didn't listen. Oh, hang on, hang on. This is part of gamepad. Oh. You got to turn off that autosave. All right, that autosave's a nightmare. This is why I have the autosave off. Gamepad. There we go. Neutral. Happy Tuesday, my friend. How are you been? It's so nice to see you again. Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. Happy to have you back in the crew. Let's save it. We are playing around with marble physics. I don't know if it's explicitly marble physics. We're playing around with physics, though. Okay. This one's just a for fun project. We finished the projects that I think I'm going to use in my class. No, it's not getting any of these inputs. So I'm wondering if my controller's actually broken. I wonder if my controller is broken. One sec. Let's try. It detects that it's connected, which is like the interesting part. Exactly, Dramulk's Marvel physics. Marble physics. All right. Listen. There it goes. Now it's listening. All right. So it's actually, it just wasn't fine before. So stick up. Left stick up. And just to make sure, left stick down. That was interesting. Left stick left. Left stick right. Save. You know, sometimes turning off and back on again is the correct thing to do. In fact, that's like, seems to be the you know. All right. You are forcing down to X control. That's okay. That's okay. It's just for me. It's just for me. Oh, yeah, that feels... Ooh, that feels so good. That feels good. Ooh, look at it go. I know you can't see how good it feels, but boy, does it feel good. I've never felt better. Okay, sweet. Sweet. All right, so I know it took me some time to get here, but we got controls for our marble and rolling around. That was one of the things we wanted to do. All right, so we're gonna do a commit here. We've got a lot to commit. Got a lot to commit. Do a commit. And we're gonna call this one a chore. Initial project. Initialize project. Well, I mean, some people are saying it was gonna take me 15 minutes. You know, an hour and a half is quite a bit longer than 15 minutes, but yes, I did it. We did it, which feels good. The Marvel Collision Universe. Yeah, we were thinking about calling the game the Marvel Cinematic Universe and putting it in different, like, you know, iconic scenes from around, you know, from Marvel movies. I think that'd be fun. In the background, you have like buildings exploding and all this crazy stuff happening. You're Marvel just trying to make your way trying to make your way through the world. All right, so now, it's true, Moon, is if I didn't talk so much, if I just shut my pie hole, if I would just shut my hole, I would, I'd get a lot more done. That's okay. That's okay. I can't help myself. Look, here, you know something really funny? Dramok says, even with Marble as the name, I can still see Marble setting C's and deceased. Yeah, I know. I'm not sure what setting C's and deceased was. I don't know if that was a typo or if I'm just not getting it. All right, Mooniz. What Mooniz says, I do enjoy the talking a lot. I know. So fun little fact. I'm kind of a little bit mad, in the sense of like, mad scientist. Sending cease and desist. There you go. That makes way more sense than setting size and desized. My talking, I do this even when I'm alone. Even when I'm by myself. So I just, I'm a natural at the stream because I would be talking anyway. Neutral says, what's the goal of the game? The main goal, here's our design document. Let's come back to our design document here. This game is simple. Come on. Focus. We require focus. All right. So Neutral's asking, what is the goal of the game? Such a good question. The goal of the game is to learn about physics in Unity using real, quote unquote, real physics. So exploring the NVIDIA physics engine. But at the same time, we're trying to make a goal. It's similar to a game called Marble Madness, right? So every level, you're going to have a marble. You have a start position. Your goal is to get to the end position. You have sort of crazy things to get through. The first level, we're about to start the first level. It's like, we have this here. And you have to roll from the start to the end. When you get to the end, you've won. That's like your goal. All right, this one's going to be very simple. If you fall off, I think you respawn at the beginning. But there's going to be platforms you sort of have to hop between. So then the next level 2, is we're going to explore creating like a rubbery material. So we start at the top, and our goal is to get down to the bottom here. So I'm going to make like a checkered pattern to put on these things to like make it super cool. You ever seen a checkered pattern in a game? It's going to be just like a racing game. There's going to be a checkered pattern at the end. And then the third level, we're going to see if we can add in some ramps. So one of the things I want to do is I want to be able to say, hey, if I have 2 platforms, I can specify 2 sides to connect and then auto generate these, or maybe find an asset. People are saying like Pro Builder should do it. But basically you want to be able to roll between these things. So the physics makes it crazy because you'll be rolling down here, and if you don't stop yourself, you're going to fall off into the abyss. All right, so right now that's our goal. Is to essentially play around with different mechanics related to physics. But yeah, that's the goal of the game. All right, so there's some stuff that we're gonna have to do with the camera and whatnot. Neutral, I hope that answered your question. But thank you so much for asking. Yeah. So we're having a lot of fun this morning. Exactly, we're gonna have fun with some physics materials. So here we go. We're gonna create a new scene. All right, create. Let me make some prefabs here. My player needs to be prefabricated. A prefabrication. Create. Folder prefabs. All right, so this is gonna be our player, because this is gonna be in a lot of scenes. Should probably make our player a singleton object, but we're not gonna deal with that. We're not gonna worry too much about that. All right, so player here. Yeah, it's like a game I played. I think there's a lot of games like this. I played a game when I was younger in the arcade and for Nintendo, the original Nintendo, called Marble Madness, and that's sort of where this is stemmed from. And then there's another game I played called Super Monkey Ball, which I'm assuming is very similar to Hamster Ball, but Super Monkey Ball. This is the game I remember. Where you are... Do they not have any good pictures here? You're sort of this character in a ball, and you're going down like race tracks, and you're trying not to fall off. But Marble Madness was the arcade game that I remember. where you have these ramps and stuff, and you're a marble trying to make it through the level. And there's enemies and stuff too in the levels, but we're not going to worry too much about that. We're just exploring PhysX. Fizzy. We're getting fizzy. That's what we're going to say. We're getting fizzy with it. All right, so we got our player prefab. We're probably going to end up with a different camera controller as well. But let's go into our scenes. We're going to create a scene. And this is going to be called our level 1. All right, so this is our level 1. And so we're going to explore here. So we get our level 1. And now we're going to end up adding 2 things. We have like a start area and a finish area. All right. Yeah, neutral. That's right. That is so OG. That's so OG. Restream Bot's not doing a good job of getting our YouTube messages over to Twitch, but Twitch is getting messages, which is interesting. Oh, well, maybe it's because I timed out. I did time out. I think all of our messages are being blocked. Something's going on Twitch with the restream, but that's okay. I'll relay the messages. I will relay them. I will be the manual restreamer. I know I know it was only timed out for 1 second. That's why I'm so surprised that I was running into issues. Let's go ahead. We're gonna add in some 3D cubes. It's got mad. Yeah, so we're gonna call this one our exit. 0.2. 0, 0, 0. All right, so we want a checkered material. We want like an actual checker pattern. Can I just go find? I might have to just make this. Checkerboard. Hang on. I guess I should. All right, real quick. I don't know why. Open game art. No. .org. Hang on. One of my favorite places. Oh, it removed the mod status. Let's make it a mod. Restream. Was it called Restream Bot? Restream Bot. All right, we'll see if that starts sending them through. We'll see. We'll see what happens. All right, so we were gonna go. I wanted to look for a texture and see if we can find checker. Checker. We could just probably find. That's horrible. All right, 2D art. Checker. Really? Checkerboard? There we go. I just want to... All right, I think I'm just going to make my own texture here. All right, we're going to get creative. We're going to get creative. We're going to make our own checker pattern. Yeah, I don't want to... I feel uncomfortable using stuff that I find just Googling, right? There's a part of me that's like, yeah. These generators are here. I clicked the wrong button. Let's try this. Ooh, Unity Coder with the save. Here we go, Unity Coder. 100 points, my friend. Thank you so much for this. Checker map maker. All right, so how do I disable letters, arrows? There we go. And this looks beautiful. Where is my... There it goes. I think I'm okay with this. Let's go to our... this is part of our materials. Create a folder called platforms. And this one's gonna be our... We'll rename... Ooh, yeah, that's all right. Goal. All right, we'll create a material. Goal. Material. And we're gonna... Boop. All right, we got this cube. Boop. Oh, I was promised this would work. There it goes. Look at that. Unity Coder, thank you so much for that. Much appreciated. Really, really appreciate it. All right, so our cube is gonna be our goal. Oh, you said in the scene, not in the hierarchy. Oh, look at that. It works. All the things work. Everything works. We'll make this 20. Ooh. All right, so I want this to be wrap mode. Oh, it's because I'm scaling it? Is that right? All right, let's try 20 by 5. I want it to not necessarily stretch out that way. I know there's a way I can do that. I thought wrap repeat would do it. Unity says adjust tiling on the material. Tiling? Gotcha. Is there a way to make it so like it's gonna change with the size of it? I really want it to just always have the same. I kind of want it to have the same sort of square no matter how much I scale it. Is that a possibility? Okay, so I'm not gonna worry about it too much then. All I know is that I can do woo fanciness. All right, no biggie. I would have to like make multiple goal things and stick them together. Gotcha. For now, I'm not gonna worry too much about it. This is gonna be our goal. All right, and then we're gonna create a similar to platform. So create goal. I'm not too worried about it. I was just curious if there was an easy way to do it. That would have been nice. Right. And then we'll create a folder here. We're gonna get crazy with our sub hierarchy folders, all nested in there infinitely. Start. All right. And our start. Create a material here. Start. That. Is there a randomize button here? Ooh. There we go. Yeah, this will be our start. Bloop. Start texture. Can I do that? No. Gotta put it on the albedo. Call this our start. And we'll stretch that out there. Watch. Mooniz, are you watching? Are you watching, Mooniz? Watch. In the hierarchy. Boom. Easy. Learned that myself. I don't need no one. To teach me. All right. Learned that one all by myself. Okay. In the scene. Whoa. All right. And then we're going to add in our last cube here. And this one's going to be our in between. Not the hierarchy. Exactly here. Wow. Oh, Mooniz, are you watching? Here we go again. Whoa. Oh, that was less exciting. All right, but we're gonna chunk these together. Make this one 20 wide. All right, we'll put this in the middle here. And then our goal should be, which direction? That's our Z direction. Should be plus 10, minus 15, 10. Why isn't minus 15 plus our own size 12.5? There we go. And then our start would be 12.5. Look, we've got a beautiful level here. All right, so the idea I have is our start is where our player is going to start. Let's take our marble and our prefabs. We got our player, add that to our scene here. This is sort of where it starts. All right, and we got to get over here to the exits. I know it's madness. How are we ever going to make it that far? All right, but our main camera, we want to set up so our camera sort of follows the marble. We'll probably add some magic lerping to it at some point. Hang on. We're gonna do this. Create empty parent. Platforms. Start it where, exactly, Mootness. Let's start the marble where it's going to start. Exactly. Now you're getting it. Now you're getting it. All right, I'm gonna cheat a little bit. I'm just gonna rotate this whole thing. Oh, wrong way. There we go. 90 degrees. So I want it to be like this. I want it to be like that. All right, and we're gonna move the player again. We're gonna start the player. Moonez, are you paying attention? We're gonna start the player at the start. We're going to start the player at the start. Genius. All right, so now our camera, I think I want my camera to maintain a distance of, I think it's a good idea. I think I should make a tutorial on where to position the player. That's an excellent idea, my friend. All right, it's an excellent idea. I think I want to make my camera though, so that way it's real quick. Let's hit play here. This should semi work. Yeah, look at me go. I can beat this level. Oh no! Oh no! I didn't beat the level. That's okay. All right, so we're gonna make it so that our camera, we're gonna add in a little bit of a camera follower here. And the camera's gonna sort of maintain itself, I think, centered on the player, but at sort of this angle. It's gonna always be 10 above. I know people are gonna tell me you should use Cinemachine, but the camera needs to, I want it to be simple. We're gonna do a simple camera controller real quick. Create folder camera. I'm gonna create a C# script. We're gonna call this player or marble follower. Okay, and in our marble follower, we're gonna have that we want to follow the player. You could use look at to look at the ball. So, ooh, that's an interesting idea. I want to be careful with rotating how the camera is changing angles, because that will affect how the player controls. So I kind of want the camera to always be in the same position, so that way when you're using directions, I don't have to deal with like adjusting the direction control. Does that kind of make sense? Although maybe I should think about that, because if I'm behind the player, it's I could always have it be the torque relative like to the direction the camera's facing. That's true. That's true. I could do that. I could do that. I'm gonna have it follow the player though. Protected. All right. So we're gonna have in a public transform. Although I suppose I could make it just find the marble. Transform marble transform. Get private set, and we're gonna serialize this. We need to find this in our inspector. The inspector needs to be able to find this, so we add it there. And on our main camera, we're gonna add in our marble follower, and the marble follower is gonna follow our player, like that. Okay. And the easy thing to do is just make this thing follow the X and Y. So we're gonna get our vector. So Moonez taught me this one too. Moonez taught me this one where we got our position equals transform dot position, and we're gonna update our X. Our Z is always hang on. Position dot Z is always gonna be marble transform dot position dot Z minus 15. We're always gonna be 15 away. Actually, here's what we're gonna do. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna create a public vector 3 distance. Do I need a vector 3 for that? No. Float distance. get private set. I don't know if I need this to be a private set. Probably want this to be a public set so that we can, in the player controls, you'll be able to adjust it. But we're not there yet, so we're not gonna worry about it. Distance. I'm gonna set it to 15 for now. And then our position.x is going to be our transform. Sorry, our marble transform. Position.x. And then we want to be our y. Interesting. I'm not sure if this is right. So y plus 10. What did I decide here? 10. We'll try 10. We'll see how that feels. We'll see how it feels, you know? And I might add a little button in here so I can, in my editor, I might do a little thing in my editor that when I modify it, it goes ahead and does it as well. Distance 15, let's see what this feels like. Nothing happened. That makes sense though, so now I'm gonna do transform.position equals position. All right, I think we got this on the first try. There we go. Yeah, that feels good. That feels real good. Okay. All right. So a couple more things I'm gonna do. I want to make it so that if we fall into the abyss, we eventually need to like self-destruct or something. I mean, I'm curious if like how we can do it. We can make it if you just fall forever. Part of me, yeah. So we sort of like the level bottom, so to speak, that we need in there. We can also make it so like if we detect that we're falling for a long enough time that we stop, but yeah, so in the player, this is our marble controller. I want to keep this. This is just our inputs, just our inputs. I want to add another thing that checks if our marble has died. Right, so our marble's died if it reaches the bottom of the level or has fallen for enough time. But we'll do a cheap trick real quick. This is sort of I'm going to create a thing called a respawner. All right, so respawner. And a respawner sort of has like conditions that it checks, like should I respawn? Or allows us to respawn. So respawn is gonna like get our initial position when it first wakes up. So public, it's the mono behavior. So mono behavior. There we go. And the idea is the first time it wakes up, protected void awake. We're gonna get our initial position. So we'll have a public vector 3, and maybe it should be a transform on where it goes, but I think a vector 3 makes sense. Vector 3 spawn point. We're gonna make this a get and set, so you can get and set this thing. You could. So the reason I want to be able to set it later is you might want to be able to like hit checkpoints and it'll just update your respawner. Alternatively, we could make it so that way we could you just get a new respawner or something. But we're gonna do it this way so you can set it later. Field serialize field. My autocomplete's not working because we gotta compile. Get Unity to recompile for me. Did I just spell it wrong? Apparently I just spelled it wrong. All right, so look, I'm not a wordologist. I've said it before, I'll say it again, I'm not a wordologist. But when we wake up, our spawn point is going to be equal to our transform dot position. All right, right, so when we start, we wake up, and then we'll have a method. This is sort of the thing that says like, okay, public void respawn. And this is just gonna move us to that position. So it's gonna say our transform dot position is equal to our spawn point. That's how I want to make this work. And then we just add that to our player. I really like the system that you came up with, Muniz, where all of your components are like sub objects rather than adding them directly here. So I might steal that at some point. Respawner, and maybe should I make this called a respawnable? Is respawnable a better name than respawner? I think it is. We're gonna remove this component real quick. We're gonna rename you respawnable. It's a thing that can respawn. Respawnable. Recompile. Yeah. So I do like that because this gets messy over here, right? It gets super messy. Respawnable. Okay, so this thing is respawnable. So when we start up, the idea is like when we can now say when we want to respawn, we can just call respawn on this thing. Why does spawn point ambiguity be? This is a fake error. It's not a real error. Hang on, reload. We got one of them ghost errors. Ooh, spooky ghost error. All right, here we go. Crazy marbles. All right, so we can respawn. Saying respawn's not a word? Shut up. Quiet, you. Respawn is a word. Okay. Respawner can't be found. Yeah. No. I know. And then what we want to do is in our, I guess in our marble controller, maybe I'll make it like my player. I think I want this idea of a player. And the player happens to be composed of all of these things. And then that will allow me to access the various different things and like sort of communicate between them. Marble controller is this, controller is, I want specifically to be like, this is sort of how I deal with user input. Respawnables is just like a nice little convenience thing. Because you could see me adding this to multiple things. And then we sort of want, I think I want this idea of like a player entity. Or maybe just player. I don't want to call it controller because I want to reserve the word controller for user interactions specifically. So maybe I'm going to call it player entity. And again, this is also going to be a mono behavior. But the idea is that we're going to require, let's get Unity to build this for us. We're going to say that a player entity is basically the culmination. It's the composition of all of these things. All right, so require component type of, and it's going to have a marble controller, and it's also going to, can I put a comma here? Yeah, a respawnable. I have to put a comma. Hang on. I have to do another type of, like that. All right. So our player entity is going to sort of be the thing. It's like the I hate to call it a god object, but it's sort of like the big object that is the composition of all the things that make up a player. All right. And this we can use to sort of check. So our player needs to check for like destruction. Maybe have like a destroy, but the idea is when we get destroyed, we're gonna respawn. So, but another thing I want to do is like when we wake up, protected void awake, we're gonna cache these things. So these are private marble controller. Controller. I don't even know if I need that I don't need it yet, so I'm gonna not worry about that. Respawnable. Respawnable. We wake up, we're gonna get this. Get component respawnable. Okay. And want this idea of like checking for out of bounds. So it can get destroyed if we're out of bounds. We get destroyed, and when we get destroyed, we're gonna trigger that we're gonna want to respawn later. Yeah, so anytime we're destroyed, we will respawn later. So we'll respawn after 1 second or something like that. So I kind of want this, yeah. So we're gonna have a method here called public void, not on destroy. Because is this a reserved? Maybe destruct is a better. I want to avoid using destroy because that's like a Unity term. The Noob Center says, can you show us what you got so far? Absolutely. Noob Center, happy Tuesday, my friend. Welcome back. Or not welcome back, but welcome aboard. This is day one. We're just learning. We're just learning some stuff. So we've hooked up our control. So there's not much, but we've got a marble that we can roll around. So it's a little bit washy controls, right? It's physics-based control. So if I press left, I start going that way. And then when I press right, it sort of starts applying more physics to it. So right now, I'm just working on my first level. This POC, my proof of concept, trying to learn it. But this is essentially what we got so far. We can move our marble around on the scene. And right now, I'm sort of adding in, if I fall off, I want my marble to respawn. All right, and if I make it to the end, I want my marble to basically be marked as a 1. But we came up with a little design document. Again, it's just an exploration here. Yeah, so it's just an experiment here. Let me turn on my document cam one more time just to show you what we're trying to do. But essentially, it's similar to a game called Monkey Ball, Marble Madness, making a game where we're exploring using physics as a control mechanism. All right, so here's what we want to do for this game, essentially. So we got our player controls done. We're not doing multiplayer. That's already, we've decided we're not going to do multiplayer. But we've got our player control movement. We can move with WASD, and we can also move with an analog controller. So it causes our marble to roll around. Our gameplay goals is the player rolls around the level from point A to point B. It's trying to get from the start to the goal. That's the mechanic we're gonna have. We're not gonna add in checkpoints yet, but maybe someday. So this is the level I'm building. I'm on level 1 right now. Can I make my marble start here, roll to the end, and get like a congratulations screen? Like basically mark us as having won. All right. Level 2, we're gonna explore a little bit more. We got our marble. It's gonna start at the top, and it's gonna be falling down on the platforms, and we're gonna explore making different types of platforms. We're gonna add a rubbery platform here, so you bounce, so you'll be bouncing as you go. And then the bottom platforms will be not so bouncy. So we're going to explore the different, physics of bouncing. This is essentially my first chance, my first project using physics in Unity. I've only been using Unity for real for about a month. All right, we're at the beginning of January, sort of when I started, maybe the end of December. And then our third level is going to be making ramps and see if we can explore the idea of if I have two ramps, can I do something where I select 2 sides of the ramp and say connect these things with 2 platforms, say connect those, and it'll just add a ramp for me. So I'd like to do that. It said, let's go PHP. Exactly. All right, so that's our goals. That's what we're trying to do. But thank you so much for asking. I'm a computer science teacher, so welcome aboard Noob Center. I'm a computer science teacher, so please don't hesitate to ask questions. We're all here learning together, and we're happy to have you here. An Immortal Kid suggests exterminate or extinguish so we don't clash with destroy. Yeah, so that's Noob Center, same here. I've made a couple projects at this point, but I'm just learning. Extinguish. I kind of like the idea of extinguish or exterminate. Destruct. Death. Yeah, so I'm going to explore physics materials. That's right. Noob Center says, I take it we'll be using physics materials. Exactly. I want to explore what that looks like. How do I do it? Can I make like some icy platforms? Can I make platforms that are hard? I think I'm going to go with destruct for now. I think it's going to be really, really fun, Noob. Yeah, thank you so much for being here. Yeah, just add an explosion particle. Exactly. I'm gonna call it destruct for now. We might change it. Unalive. Kill. Oh, well, let's go with kill. I like kill because that's like, all right, we're done. Just end it. Boom. And then we're gonna add an event into our player. Public. We're gonna use Unity engines here. Using Unity engine dot events. Public. On public Unity event. Kill Dash 9, yeah. Noob Center, he did. I told you he did. All right. On death. All right. We have an event called on death. And this will be a serialized, so we can add things into the scene if we need to. Serialized field. Like that. Player entity, on death, private. This needs to be private set. Okay. And it's a respawnable. Respawnable is a word too. How dare you? How dare you tell me words that aren't real? I know you're real. Add it to my user settings. There we go. Stop telling me respawnable. It said respawn's not a word too. How dare it? How dare it do? All right, so on kill, we're gonna disable. All right, so on kill we do a disable game object dot set active false. So we're gonna disable it in the scene. Okay. And then we're gonna set a timer. We're say after some amount of time. So let's add into our player here how long it takes to respawn. So what's our respawn time? Yeah, so we'll add in a field private float respawn time. And we'll set it to 1 second for now. 1.44 seconds. I like it. I like it, Moonness. Beautiful. Beautiful. 12 squared divided by 100. Serialize this field so we can modify that in the inspector. All right. And then what we're going to do. Well, I don't want to so we might have checkpoints. Noob Center says, can't we just reload the scene using Scene Manager on kill? We could do that, but I might have other things going on. I might have checkpoints in the scene. There might be other enemies, that sort of thing. There's no reason to reload the entire scene. We could though, but I think I'm just gonna make it sort of pop back up. That would be a very, very simple thing to do. I'm thinking ahead just a little bit more than that. Just a little bit more. Noob says there's a reason they call me the noob. No, that's a completely reasonable thing. So if our specification, our specification doesn't say that, so that one of the fun things about programming, one of the greatest things about programming, in my opinion, is there's 1,000,001 different ways to do something. And that seems like a completely reasonable thing to do. Well, your suggestion seems completely reasonable. It's just, well, if I want to add checkpoints, I'd have to rewrite it later. If I knew that I wasn't going to have checkpoints, might be a completely reasonable thing to do. I just think that this happens to be a little bit more robust for opening, stuff. If I wanted to reset the whole level, yes, I would probably want to do that. But I don't want to reset the whole level. Like if I had obstacles and stuff on the scene. So Noob, that's actually a really interesting thought. If I had obstacles that needed to get reset each time you restart the level, that would actually be a really good option to just say, oh, just reload the scene. Say I had stuff, yeah. Say I had enemies that you could destroy, it might make sense to force the whole scene to reload. That's interesting. That's interesting. I have to think about that. There are other ways I could do it, but that'd be a really easy way to reset the entire scene back to its initial state. So when we die, we're going to do an onDeath.invoke here like this. Okay. Mooney says reloading the scene depends on what you want to do and how complex you want to go. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. If you want an easy way to just reset the entire, all objects to their initial state, would be to, that's what, so Moon is your suggestion similar to what I was planning on doing if I wanted to do something. The other way is to have an initial state of each object and call reset on them. Yeah, so like this respawn type thing and be like, oh, well, you could have it sort of just respawn where it was. And that was my thought with this respawnable is I could just say, okay, everything that can be respawned in the scene, do that. So on death, we're going to invoke this. And one of the things I want is anytime we die, we're going to call respawn. Noob says, if we're working on the respawn system, any way we could just have a basic entity class and respawn the obstacles while we're at. Yeah. Moon says, you are respawning. I would suggest you use rigid body to move the player there. Okay. Oh, because all of the physics on it are not going to be reset. This sort of does require our respawnable to have a rigid body. And so I don't know if I necessarily think that's a bad thing. But we're going to say require not the transform position. No, just link. You are respawning. I would suggest you use the rigid body to move the player in there. Not the transform position. Woolo165, thank you so much for the follow, my friend. Welcome aboard. Happy to have you as a member of our crew. As always, don't hesitate to ask questions. I love when you ask questions. I don't quite understand what you mean, Mundus. Yeah, so that's what I'm planning. Oh, you're suggesting that we put in a position in the respawn. My idea is like, well, we know where the position of the player, like the initial position, and we're going to respawn there. We do kind of need to reset all of the player's like settings to their initial state, right? So when we respawn, like all of the rigid body's velocity and the stuff need to get set to 0. And I could just say when we die, that happens. So we set everything to false. If I use transfer to position to move the player, when you use physics for everything else, you might get really weird glitches. Yeah, you're exactly right. That's why this is exactly what was happening in the last game, right? So when I wasn't quite aware that I didn't want a physics-based game. So let me see if I understand. All right, so another thing that we want here, this has to have a rigid body on it. All right, so the player has to have a rigid body. The respawnable is on the player. It's on the player entity. But I don't necessarily think that I want everything that's respawnable to require a rigid body. Although right now that's sort of what I'm, we could also make that a requirement. If you go with the checkpoint approach, the respawn vector could go well if you use the checkpoint. At which point I'm like, well, do I really want to have this respawn object? Right? So if this respawn object, the whole idea was to make it so that I could just say, oh, hey, respawn. If I'm anything that moves never, but maybe there's things that are not moving that could be respawn, like a destructible wall. Like some you pick up a key and it destroys a wall, it like removes a wall. Again, I don't have that as a requirement right now, so maybe that's outside of the scope. Maybe I don't want that. Maybe this idea of respawnable doesn't make sense, and I should just focus on, you know, writing the code for the player to respawn. I might be, you know, I might be over engineering and going too abstract already. Which I fall victim to all the time. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get rid of this respawnable. All right, we're gonna make the player treated maybe just differently. All right, so the player's not gonna have a respawnable. Instead, we're just gonna say, okay, hey, get your rigid body. All right, get your rigid body. Rigid body. We do want a rigid. We know for sure the player is going to have a rigid body. Exactly, Noob Center. I have a bad habit of overcomplicating things. Biotest said marbles on stream clone. Marbles on stream. I don't quite understand what you're saying, but Bio, happy Tuesday. Happy to have you back, my friend. Welcome aboard. We are making a game about a marble. We're making a game where we're gonna lose our marble repeatedly. Rigid body. All right, so then when we wake up, we're gonna do this. Marbles on Stream is a game where they are dropped into a marble course and compete to win. Oh, interesting. I've never heard of that. Good to know. All right, so when we get killed, all right, so I'm actually going to do a thing here called public void respawn. And this is going to reset our player. So our game object here is going to be set active true. But before we do that, and we might end up with an event called onspawn. Biotest, wait, how do you add NVIDIA physics to the project? Fun fact, the default 3D physics in Unity is NVIDIA physics. The default physics in Unity is NVIDIA physics. Yeah. So there's like a couple different types of it. You could also, they have Havoc physics if you want to use that. And then they have data-driven physics if you want to use that. So like if you were like modeling a solar system, you'd probably want to use like data-oriented physics. So I did a little bit of research. This time to figure it out. All right, so our respawn is actually going to... Let me think here. Our rigid body dot set. Can I do rigid body dot position? Moves the command body towards a position. That. Do I set the position like this? Position of the rigid body. Apparently, I think this is what I want to do. When we start up, we'll get our start position. All right, so this is going to be our private vector 3 spawn position. And when we wake up, call this spawn point. The spawn point. This is going to be our rigid body dot position. We'll get the position of our initial body. Move. So move position, it moves it toward that position. So that's not going to be what we want. Moves it towards the position. I want it to just show up there. So I do think we want this. So I actually suspect this is actually the same position. It's probably the same position as it was on our transform, but that's okay. It's probably better to do it through the rigid body. But we're also going to do like velocity is equal to vector 3.0. So we want to reset our velocity when we respawn. All right, like that. So we respawn there. All right, and so what we can do is when we die, we're going to do invoke name of, we're gonna invoke respawn after. Did I put in a delay? Yeah, respawn time. Respawn time. So after we die, we'll automatically call respawn. Moon says, wall of text. Rigid body position allows you to get and set the position of the rigid body using the physics engine. If you change the position of a rigid body using rigid body position, the transform will be updated after the next physics simulation step. Awesome. That's exactly what we want. This is faster than updating the position using transform position, as the latter will cause all the attached colliders to recalculate positions relative to the rigid body. Moonness, once again, thank you so much for your help. 50 points to Gryffindor. 50 points to Gryffindor. Thank you so much. The Noob Center suggests, how about we rewind through the entire level super quick instead of just reappearing there? I think timescale could work for that. Maybe you're describing all of my fantasies. You're describing all my fantasies. I'm like, ooh, wouldn't it be cool to do this? Wouldn't it be cool to that? And you're describing it something called scope creep. And we're gonna be careful because the last time I started just taking all these Noob, I'm gonna say this is an awesome feature. This is an awesome feature, but we're gonna stay focused. We're gonna stay focused because I could go off. That could be like a 3 or 4 day adventure. That'd be a great side quest. So what I'm gonna tell you, Noob Center, and I'm gonna tell you though, is you should join the Discord if you'd like. Join the Discord. I have a recommendations. I have suggestions. You don't have to join Discord if you want. But I'm likely to forget this. I love this idea, but feel free to join the Discord. And if you'd like to give me suggestions, I'm more likely to remember if you do it on the Discord. But no pressure, no pressure. If you don't want to join Discord, that's cool too. That's cool too. Just wanted you to know that it's there. It exists. It exists. Noobton said, yeah, tell me about scope creep. I just spent 6 hours working on a jump. I know. I intended to make, if you go, I have a series that I did on an RPG prototype, and I thought it was gonna take me like maybe 9-10 days. It took me 20 days with all the scope creep that happened. So we're being a little bit smarter this time. We have a design document saying exactly the features we want to play. Oh, reset rotation. Good call, Unity Coder. Rigid body dot rotation equals, what is it? Quaternion dot identity. Unity Coder, thank you so much. We're gonna give you 50 points for your assistance, my friend. Is namaste, is that the right word? Namaste? Is that thank you? Namaste. Oh, it's a respectful greeting. Right, I'm wrong. Moon says, maybe I'll make a tutorial on jump as well, as I'm using an animator curve for it and it's super easy. Ooh. All right. So we have our player entity here. We want to be able to check whether or not it's sort of in the bounds of the scene. And so again, rather than, in my mind, I'm like, oh, I can create this framework for where I can register different things that could kill you. Instead, I'm just let's keep it simple. KISS, keep it simple, stupid. I'm gonna keep it simple, stupid. Also, we're gonna try and follow convention, public things before protected things. All right, kill, respawn. I want a thing called check bounds. All right, public, really, this is gonna be private. It's part of our protected void update. All right, so we want to check whether or not we're in bounds. So check inbounds. All right, so check inbounds are private void check inbounds, and this is just going to check whether or not we should, if we're out of the range, if we've fallen too far, if we've reached the pit of despair, then we are going to sort of end ourselves. All right, we'll call kill, which will eventually call respawn. And so here's how I think I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna create a layer, or a tag. But yeah, I think I'm gonna create. Maybe do a tag. I want to say if I'm beneath the thing that's furthest down, the farthest thing below, then I can never land on anything else, and so therefore I'm done. So I'm wondering whether I should do it as a layer or a tag. So these, I'm gonna do it, for now I'm gonna do a tag, I think, so we can do platform. And we might also have a layer called platform at some point. All right. And then we're gonna move all of these things into platform. And maybe I should actually just have a singleton here that says get all the platforms in the level. And so maybe I'll do that actually. All right. Let's create a new file. Platforms.cs. All right, so this is gonna be our big old singleton. It's gonna be not a big old singleton. It's gonna be our little miniature singleton. So this is gonna be our public static class platforms. And so when the level starts, when the level loads up, we're gonna get all the platforms. We're gonna initialize it, okay? Iterating through all game objects with platform tag and noting the lowest Y level. Yeah, essentially is what we're gonna do. So we're gonna keep track of that information. So that way we can find it. Noob Center says iterating through all game objects with platform tag and noting the lowest Y level. Exactly. So if we're below that lowest Y level plus some epsilon, then we die. Essentially is what we're gonna do. But I kind of want to do this. I want to do a thing that says public, a list of game object, all. All right. And we're gonna make this sort of be our get, and this should be a static. And we're gonna have to import some stuff here. We won't have a set here, but this is gonna be sort of like an initialize thing. I gotta get this to load real quick. All right, list. Using collections and using Unity Engine. All right, so we're gonna have all of our game objects. We're gonna have a static method, public static void initialize. All right, so initialize is gonna say, okay, get the current scene. We're gonna go find all of our stuff. So find, do I need an object to be able to do that? Scene, Unity Engine, that find, that's interesting. Can I do it with a scene? Initialize scene S. I'm trying to find all of the game objects in the scene with a tag. So this is going to be a thing that happens at the beginning. Oh, maybe I'll just pass in my platform's parent. That's what I'll do. I'll have a reference to my platforms. Game object. Okay, that's a game object that find objects with tag. And then we got our magic string here. Platform. We're going to create another thing here in our scripts. New. This is going to be our tags. Public static class tags. Let me just call it tag. And then we have it public static read-only string platform equals platform. Rename this tag. And it's going to be namespace crazy marble. That is just going to be a little helper so we don't have to hard code strings all over the place. And this should also be in our namespace crazy marble. Not sure if I need to be in a sub thing there. But this is going to be our tag dot capital T tag dot platform. Give me a second here. Tag might be the wrong name here. Public static class tag. There it goes. I just needed a second to catch up. All right. I need 20 seconds. Give me a second here. All right, I'm back. Apologies for that. Sorry for the silence. Sorry for the silence. All right, so initialize. We call initialize. It's gonna go ahead and load this thing up. This gives back an array. Call this private set, and we'll just call it toList. I guess I could leave it as an array. And we'll do all equals when we initialize that. So we can get it. Part of me is like, oh, well, we don't want to be able to modify this thing. So, but I think we're going to be okay if we leave it that way. There's no reason to get too crazy here. But also we want really what we want is have like a lower the volume. So float, min y is what I want. So this public static min y is going to be a get, again, private set. I don't know why I'm doing these on multiple lines like this. Noob is saying, I do not know the slightest bit of C#. To be honest, I've only picked it up from Unity. I'm thinking of reading the Beginning to Code with C# book. Yeah, so C# is one of my favorite languages at this point. I've been using it for about 2 years. I haven't been using it long. I've been programming for quite a while. But let me ask you a question, Noob Center. How much programming do you have? Because I always recommend the following book. But this is a beginner book. If you already have some programming background, it's not a bad book as well. This book here, the C# Player's Guide, I think this is the best introduction to coding in C# book. And it goes into lots and lots of details, but it's a fun book. I use this in my class. My students, I use this to teach them, and I also have like a workbook. But if you already have some programming experience, you might not find this book as exciting. But I do recommend the C# Player's Guide. I think it's one of my favorite books. Dabble in Python. Okay, in that case, I highly recommend getting the C# Player's Guide. It's not going to teach you Unity, but it's going to teach you good C#. It's going to teach you good C# and it'll teach you a lot of the deep things about C# as well. Not super deep, but teach you about object-oriented programming in C# specifically. And I think it's a fantastic book. Highly recommend. All right, so we need to go through. We're going to find the minimum Y on all of these. For each game object O in all, we are going to we also might make this take in a base object to like search down inside of. Searching everything's a little bit crunchy. We don't want to do that a lot. Let's see. Yeah, and then we're going to say min y is going to be equal to math.min of min y or obj.position transform .position.y. So we're going to find the lowest y position. And we're probably going to end up adding more things here. So I'm going to leave this as a for each that does a bunch of stuff rather than using like a link, which is what I've done in the past. But I think we're probably going to we're going to find several different components eventually. So we'll probably have like bounds, probably find the whole bounds of the thing at some point. For now, min y is all we really care about. And what we're going to do, renderer.bounds give worldwide coordinates for bounds. That is cool. I did not know that. Renderer.bounds. Let's go look at that. Unity renderer.bounds. We on the right version, 2021, we are. Unity Coder says, I think renderer bounds gives world coordinates for bounds. The bounding box of the render in world space. This is the axis aligned bounding box fully enclosing the object in the world. Noob says, what camera are you using for this? Custom? As far as like follower, I'm not doing anything special for camera. Or do you mean for my stream? Using bounds is convenient. Using bounds is convenient to make rough approximations with the object's location extents. Oh, I see what you're saying, Unity Coder. I should get the bounds of the platform objects, those things. So like if I have something that's really thick, I probably want to find that. That's probably what I want to do rather than this. I see. So this would be, oh, the marble follow? Yeah, that's just custom. You check it out real quick. Very, very simple. Our marble transform, every frame it just says update, set this distance, set our Y to be 10 above. I should probably have that be a field here as well. Real quick, let's get distracted just momentarily. We're gonna call this height 10. Super, super simple follower that just says, pick something to lock onto and then we follow it. Eventually we might add an alert or something to it. All right, for the coordinates, what has, for example, the center property, if my thing doesn't have a mesh on it, let's take a look here. So I think I'd have to go in and find the mesh on all of these as well to get it. I'm gonna hack for now. I'm gonna do a little hack to do potential. I think that's what you're suggesting though, Unity Coder. Let me know if I'm right. Potentially, we should find the bounds. All right, so here's what we're gonna do then. Object, obj.get component. It makes sense though that we would have a renderer on this thing. Is it a mesh renderer? Yeah. So it makes sense that we would have a render on the thing. If it's not rendered, then we don't care. Renderer, right? The Big Baller, welcome back, my friend. Happy Tuesday. Welcome back to the crew. Welcome aboard. How are you doing this beautiful Tuesday morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you happen to be in the world? This beautiful Tuesday. Noob Center says, instead of adding the distance and height like this, you could also work with a vector 3, name it offset, and work around. Yeah, so that's another option, is to have it be an offset, a vector. Absolutely. That like I said, programming, I love the creativity with programming. It gives us a lot of freedom to explore things in different ways. So we're gonna say if the renderer is null, we're gonna continue. Big Baller says, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. What are you working on today? We are creating a physics-based marble game. So here's what we have so far, Big Baller. Here's what we have so far. We've got a scene here. We played around. We got our sweet Xbox controller hooked up here, and we can roll our marble around. All right. So I'm using, it's physics-based rolling. So you're not seeing me here, but it's controlling to our axis, the axis of our analog stick. Yeah, we finished the RPG prototype. All right. So we're sort of trying to play around with physics in this one, because in the last project we didn't do so well. So yes, the RPG prototype is finished. If you want to check it out, Adventure Quest. It's not particularly fun, but we did get all the features that we wanted. If you want, so the final version is here. I'm going to be building out this project a little bit more, but if you want to check out the actual, what we ended up with the RPG builder, you can find it there, and there's a link to it. Yeah, no worries. And then last week we put together like a action platformer game. And in that, I thought I wanted to use physics, but it turns out I didn't. It turns out I didn't want physics. And so now I'm actually exploring a game with physics in Unity. So yeah, it's inspired by Monkey Ball. And there's a game called Hamster Ball that I haven't played, but it's similar to that. But really, really, the game from my childhood that this is inspired by is Marble Madness. Marble Madness. All right, so instead, now we're going to use the renderer. All right, so renderer.bounds.z min.z. All right. Noob says, what you're currently doing reminds me of Mythic Legions. I've never heard of that one. I probably could make a global. It's a good question, Big Baller. I'm not sure. I know that there is gravity. So I don't know if we can adjust this during gameplay. I don't know if we can adjust it during gameplay, but I know in our project settings we have gravity. So in the physics here, someone tell me, can I adjust this during gameplay? Is this a thing that I can modify? So there is a constant, it's -9.81, which is, you know, the gravity of Earth. Okay, so I can adjust this at runtime. So if I wanted to, I could do that here at runtime. So there is sort of like a gravity constant that is global by default in Unity, from what I am aware of. Gotcha. So you can change it. Cool. Cool. That's good to know. That's really good to know. All right. So our platforms here, this is just a global thing. Why would you want to adjust gravity? Well, I mean, you could potentially do some, yeah. So just for, maybe you have different levels and different levels have different gravity constants, right? Is gravity constant? Turns out gravity is not constant. Gravity's not constant. We could add a slider. We add a slider. So I guess I don't understand your initial question. You said, can you make a global variable for gravity in this to make it easier? Easier for what? I thought you meant easier to control and modify. In this case, I'm just trying to find the lowest thing. For any current instances. Gotcha. Anti-gravity. So it would be a fun way to make the anti-gravity, just really just like flip a switch and have anti-gravity on. Yeah, absolutely, Noob. All right, so. Aha! Unity Coder. Unity Coder. All right, Unity Coder caught our bug here. Add points. Thank you so much. That was gonna boggle me forever, I'm sure. 50 points for finding my bug there. I'm not gonna adjust the gravity just yet. Muna says, if you are changing gravity, I would suggest another way, and that is to remove gravity from the rigid body and handle it per object. So in physics update, you can add force physics.gravity and multiply it by whatever you want. That kind of makes sense. Oh, for the controller, Big Baller. I see. I understand what you're saying now. Yeah, we could do that. All right, so now we're gonna check inbounds. One of the things we sort of want to do, when we wait, so we can do it here. Can add it to platforms. I think I'm gonna do it here for now. Platforms. All right, and this is not in the correct namespace either. All right, things are gonna get crunchy, I think, here. This is the namespace, Crazy Marble. All right, we've been going for a little over 3 hours now, so I don't need to take a break. I probably need to wrap up here what I'm doing. I gotta end the stream at some point. I've been trying to end it, so I have work in 2 hours. I've been trying to end the stream earlier, so I have more time to prep for work stuff. Build this, make sure nothing's too upset with us. Okay, and then here, probably not the best place to do it. I should probably have like a platforms object or something, but I'm gonna do my platforms.initialize here when we wake up. Initialize. All right, and then down here I can check the bounds. I can say platforms.min_y. I'm going to say if our rigid body. It's mad prioritizing work. What a concept. Look, I learned it from watching you, Smab. I learned it from watching you. You're the one that that had me calling me out. I love Smab because Smab calls me out on all the terrible habits that I'm trying to break. Less than our platforms.minY. All right, so if that's the case, we die. We die. And we probably want some epsilon here. So it's like, but let's go minus 10. We'll try that for now. Probably need to make a variable for that. It's not a magic constant. Hang on. Private float out of bounds depth range equals 10. Well, I'm going down if we decreasing by that amount, wouldn't it? So I want to die if I've gone too far. Oh, you're saying I should make my min y on the right? I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure this is right. So I'm saying that. All right, let's think about it. If my player's position. Oh, you're right. Plus. You are correct. It should be plus here. Or minus on this side, something like that. Yeah, so I want to say if my player position plus this amount. So I want that extra end. Otherwise, I'll die sooner. All right. Let's see if this does anything. Missing a semicolon. Noob Center says, I need to leave. No problem, Noob Center. Thank you so much for popping in. Have a beautiful day, my friend. As always, keep coding, keep growing, and you're welcome back anytime. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. So see you next time. Have a beautiful day. All right, here we go. Let's give it a shot. Oh, I don't think I've ever added my player. I don't think this actually has the player entity on it. All right, we're not using respawnable anymore. It disabled. Interesting. Interesting. Let's try again. Perfect. Exactly, Mooniz. That was interesting. So we did die. We blipped for a second. I think on the next frame we need to set active or true. Correct. No, I'm supposed to disable the object because I died. I've done this before. No, it's so I think what's happening is that it sets active and then it's checking the bounds immediately. So you can see it turn on for a second. I think it's that we don't want this to set active until the next frame. Right? Until the next physics frame, because this doesn't do it until the next physics frame. So we don't actually want to set active just yet. It's like set active during the next frame or something. I'm pretty sure this is happening. Here. We'll test it. We'll put a debug.log. Respawn. Run respawn. I'm alive. All right, there we go. We're gonna try that. I'm pretty sure it's triggering. I saw it flicker for a moment. But I think what's happening is that update, I think I need to move that to... Yeah, so I do get it, but like you were like, because we're using rigid body to set this, they're setting the rigid body position. We don't actually move ourselves. So I think I do want an update. I want to say on next physics frame. All right, so I know there's a way I can do this with a coroutine. Coroutine on next fixed, on next physics frame. Interesting. I thought I knew where coroutine currently does stop if deactive go. I think I need to wait for the physics though. Moonness suggests, Unity Curse says, interesting, I thought I knew where coroutine currently does stop if deactive go. And then Moonness says you could reset all the values immediately, but freeze position and rotation so you are above the starting point for 1.44 seconds. Oh, that's a good idea. If I did this here, well, it's interesting because like conceptually respawn makes sense to do it this way. Conceptually, this makes sense to me. If I were to put this in kill, it doesn't necessarily make sense to me. Then the physics body will keep happening. So I did want it to not, I did like kind of want the camera to stop. We could also just, you know, so we could do this where we say like, well, just don't disable that and it'll move you back up there. This is also an option. Then my roll off. There we go. That was interesting. Oh, that's super interesting. Oh, I'm just respawning. Look at this. Look, I'm alive is triggering zillions of times. I'm just trying to do the respawn, big baller. I'm just trying to understand. Yeah, kills getting called over and over. I only want it to happen once. This is why I was deactivating it, right? Yeah, it's one of the reasons I was deactivating the object. Let me think here. All right, coroutines. Let's look at a coroutine real quick. Because I think we might make this a coroutine. The classic game dev way is to add in some gnarliness. Exactly. And then yield, return. I want to like wait for fixed update. Wait until the next fixed update frame. New. And then GameObject.set active true. Yeah, I don't know if classic game devs what we're going for. I think sometimes you want to do good programming. Classic game dev often says, hey, we should do things in a terrible way. Respawn. Yields. Good programming in game dev rejected. Exactly. Wait, and we should probably this is our respawn time. If we want to be super clever, we want to create like abstract this out, right? So otherwise each time we call it, we're not doing this a bunch though. Let's see if this works. I think debug.log respawn begins. I'm alive. Debug.log show me, baby. All right, let's give it a shot. I'll start a lot of coroutines now. Oh, because no, I set myself inactive. This should only happen once. Because I'm no longer active, so the update doesn't get called over and over. Update doesn't happen on deactivated objects, I think. Could not be started because the player is inactive. All right, so in that, coroutines don't even run if you're not active. Guess you got to take variable for initial 0.00 and hop it back when needed. Oh man, that's annoying. That's really annoying. Well, it's good to know. It's good to know. Now I know. So you're saying if I did this, it would deactivate anyway and it wouldn't matter. How annoying. Unicare says disable the rigid body. Make ball semi-transparent. Use lerp to animate ball from current position to start position in a few seconds. Yeah, we could do that. It feels like a lot of work. Feels like a lot of work. Can we find a simpler way? Can we find a simpler way to do it? I think we can. Invoke name of respawn. Respawn time. I think we can get this to work. So I think we're gonna do the, suggestion Moonez did was like have a Boolean tell us whether or not we are dead. Okay. So we're gonna have a Boolean that says private bool is respawning. Okay. Is respawning equals true. Um, no shit. Even good programmers come around to the way of game dev way after struggling for a while. Well, I want to, I don't want things to be, I don't want to do too much. I don't want to add complexity just for the sake of complexity and mashing it together. I want to think about my problem and actually have a solid solution. Unicoder, I think your solution is fine. Just for what it's worth, I think your solution is fine. I just want to, I feel like it shouldn't be so hard. So big baller, one of the things I want is I want to have a specific amount of time before I respawn. So have another collider at the bottom. I think as soon as I set that I'm active, we start doing updates again. There are many, many easy hacks where I add a bunch of lines of code to do checks and stuff. Is there a simpler way? Well, basically I need to skip whether or not we're checking inbounds, right? So my idea was that we could do we're not alive until the next physics frame. As soon as I set active, we start doing my updates again. What if check inbounds requires a speed of rigid body.velocity.y? So when you stop after triggering once, you set velocity to 0 and you won't trigger again. So if fall speed is higher than value, maybe. I'm gonna mull this over just for a little bit. I'm gonna mull it over just for a little bit to make sure that's what I want to do. I think that would make sense though, because it only makes sense if I'm falling for that to happen. But keep in mind that this isn't going to happen until the next physics update anyway. Right? So it's not going to happen until the next physics update anyway. So that won't quite solve it either. Represent the rate of change in the rigid body's position. I don't want to keep falling. I want to deactivate. When it says you should freeze when you trigger, is there a reason you want to keep falling? So you're suggesting I should do rigid body dot freeze. Constraints dot. Yeah, so I don't quite think that's what we want though. I don't care about that. I don't care about that. We're gonna I want it to respawn here. Can I make it work with this deactivate activate thing? I just want to think through it completely before I just add in a bunch of unnecessary booleans and complexity to make it work here. And maybe I just need to take a break. Maybe I've been going long enough that I actually need to take a little bit break here. I do Unity Coder. I think yours is eventually what I want to do, because having it like the camera lerp back to that position would be nice. So maybe I actually don't want to deactivate it. Maybe in fact I do want to stretch. Yeah, I think stretch might be a good idea here. I actually need to end the stream, unfortunately. I want to keep going. I'm having so much fun. I want to keep going, but I think we gotta kind of stop, unfortunately. I have a feeling the solution will come to me. This isn't often what happens when we stop suddenly, like, oh yeah, that's what I'll do. That's what I'll do. But I want to keep it simple. I think eventually I want to do what you're suggesting, Unicorn, where the camera like will just zoom back up to that spot and we'll flash, then drop the ball in. But I want to understand why this is so awkward first. So like in check-in bounds, should I really be doing this during update? Right? So I don't think it's that bad, but we're gonna stop here. I'm gonna do a commit. We did make some kind of progress, maybe. Because I think we could still have a coroutine with respawn. And so rather than, all right, let's not stop just yet. Instead of this, I do like this idea of making this an enumerator. And making this a coroutine. Start coroutine respawn. Okay. And what we can say is respawning is true. All right, so if we are respawning, we're not going to do this. So check in bounds, say if is respawning, do nothing. So we are going to add in this little bit of state to track that. We're going to start a coroutine here. And when we respawn, so rather than disabling the object, can we make it not visible? I'll make that game object. Here we go. Can we get the renderer of our marble? So like we could disable the marble, right? We could disable the marble. So this would be where we would want to freeze. Okay, so I think there's a combination of stuff here that is correct. All right, so we're gonna do a rigid body dot constraints dot rigid body constraints dot constraints equals rigid body constraints dot freeze position. Okay, so we're gonna freeze it. Hang on, let's do this. We don't want to invoke this anymore. Freeze it, respawning. We'll add a thing here, to do hide model. We'll do this later because I got to wrap this up soon. I just can't stop. I can't stop, won't stop. All right, so we'll start out by yielding a yield, return new, wait for seconds, and this is going to be our respawn time. I could just also do freeze all, like don't let it do nothing. Is this going to affect this? That's a question we got to ask. I don't know. And then yield return new, wait for fixed update. And then here we will do rigid body dot constraints equals rigid body constraints dot none, like that. And then is respawning equals false. Ooh, that's an option too. Make it kinematic. Kind of like that. Let's see how we did here. I've not really ever used coroutines, so we're about to experience the magic. We're gonna experience the magic, and you get to experience the magic with me. All right, let's roll off. Boop. Yeah, so we gotta actually do that. It didn't let me change the position, I don't think. That's funny. Yeah, so if you freeze the positions, you can't even set it this way. That works though. That works. And then all we really gotta do is like turn off our renderer. Not horrible. I like the idea of lerping back up Unity Coder. I really, really do. So we're probably gonna do that eventually as part of the respawn. Part of me feels like, honestly, all of this could be in here. But so my question is, do coroutines like start immediately? Is a question. We could also change this to is dead. Is dead. There we go. I like is dead better than is respawning. So when we start the respawn, we'll actually freeze all. We're gonna wait. Let's also see, can we turn off, we wanna find all the renders in us. So I'm gonna write a little helper here. Yeah, I think the rewind would be a little bit challenging to get right, especially as the level grows in complexity. So if there's things that move around in the level, like I eventually do want to have like moving platforms, that could be a challenge. But I do think it's a really, really cool idea. Think I'm just gonna go disable my crazy marble child. I'm gonna disable my crazy marble child. Get component in children. This is don't do this. Don't do this. This is just so we're gonna have it get this ahead of time. It only has one child, so we're gonna game object child. And we're gonna do game object dot set active false. True. Muniz says under game logics, all the wait for happens after update. Okay, that's a good to know. Thank you. So I do think we avoided adding like a crazy amount of complexity. It would have been really easy to add a ton of complexity here. All right, but we should. Bloop. Why did the whole thing get disabled? Oh. Thank you. I want to get the child. I want to get the thing that is rendering. So I'm just going to hide the renderer. Moon is... Isn't it fun watching me? Isn't it fun watching me not know how to make all these stupid mistakes? All right. All right, I'm happy. I'm happy. It made it really, really simple. Just say like, okay, we're gonna start the coroutine. The respawn knows how long it takes, like this, and then this is sort of, you know, straightforward. It's not frustrating at all. I'm sure. I'm sure. All right, everyone, we're gonna stop here. We're gonna stop here. We've made some excellent progress. We're gonna add this in here. Chore start. Oh, we gotta save level 1. Hang on. Slow down there, Cap. Start chore. What did we do? Start work on level 1. Add respawn kill / respawn. I'm sorry, Big Baller. I was having so much fun too. I wish I didn't have to go. I wish I didn't have to go, but I'm gonna be back. I'll be back tomorrow. I'll be back every day this week. Unless something terrible happens. But I intend to be back every day this week. But we're gonna find someone to raid. But before we do that, thank you everyone for being here. For witnessing this momentous occasion. All 20 of you, 20 points. 20 points. Yeah, Big Baller, I stream almost every day. I call it my wake up in code. I'm gonna be up coding anyway. So why not stream? Why not enjoy it with me? But yeah, we'll be back. If there are any suggestions, if anyone wants to make a suggestion on who we should raid, let me know now. Otherwise, I'm gonna go find someone. Probably gonna raid Clayman. Clayman Dev. Yeah, that's who we're gonna go raid. Unless someone wants to raid someone else. If you know anyone else, just let me know. But we're gonna go raid Clayman Dev, one of my favorite streamers, making a game called Epic Hero Game. All right, Unity Coder, thank you for that. Let's do that. I like going to the small ones. I like doing the small ones for sure. I know this Japanese farmer we could raid. Mooniz. Not that type of raid, Mooniz. Not that type of raid. Let's go look up. Are these, yeah, let's go do it. Let's look up Terran. Thank you so much for the recommendation. Terran Nam. It doesn't look like they're on. What a Kashu. Are they on? Am I just can't find them? I don't. Let's go see if we can find them on Twitch. I'm not following either of them, so I always love to try and get in there. Terran. Maybe I just typed it in wrong. Okay, yeah, Terran Nam is going. All right, so we're gonna raid Terran Nam. Thank you everyone once again for hanging out with me. It was having a blast. I'm having a blast. Absolutely loving it. As always, keep coding, keep growing, building up those skills. Live yourself a beautiful life, and I can't wait to see you next time. Have a beautiful day, everybody.